Welcome again. Now we begin with politics. The expanded caucus meeting of the People's Democratic Party is currently underway amidst tight security provided by personnel from various security agencies, including the Nigeria Police and the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. The police, who had earlier barred members of the PDP Board of Trustees from accessing the NEC hall of the party to hold their meeting, have now permitted access to the same venue for the expanded caucus meeting. Earlier, a chieftain of the party, Bode George, spoke on the siege by security personnel at the party's headquarters.
You hear, this is the voice of Jacob, but the hand of Esau. Whoever is the thing that is other from the above, we've had it before. I have been on both sides, the military and the civil. So, let me please advise, allow sleeping dogs to lie. We have more problems, economic, financial, education, infrastructure. They should face that. Are you saying we PDP cannot? It is the only political Iroko tree in this country. You are saying we cannot stand? Can you tell Iroko tree in the bush that it cannot stand? Is it possible? We cannot, you don't resolve, because PDP is not a private enterprise. You don't resolve it outside. You must sit down. So if you want us to resolve our crisis, you keep it crisis. I said it's no crisis. It's a disagreement between two people. And we will sit down like you do in a family. If you have a family problem, do you start to go and get the police to block your house and all that and go to the marketplace? No. Please. Let's be civil in this country. Because the public is watching. Everybody is looking at Nigeria. Now the president is on visit to somewhere in West Indies. How would they hear? This is what we are doing in your country. What are you doing here?
Now our correspondent Joshua Marai, who has been monitoring the unfolding events, now joins us. Joshua, good evening. Thank you again for joining me on the news. So are there any updates? We hear that the expanded caucus meeting is already holding at the same venue they were disallowed from using from before by the police authorities. What updates do you have for us, Joshua?
Well, good evening to you, Marcelo. I can officially confirm to you that the expanded caucus meeting has officially ended, and the chairman, the acting national chairman of the party, that is the president of Kwara, spoke, and he said that the party has unanimously agreed to allow Senator Samuel Anyanwu to continue as the national secretary of the party. And this is giving a new twist to the story, as they said that there's a letter to that effect to be sent to the Independent National Electoral Commission to cement the fact that Senator Samuel Anyanwu is coming back as the National Secretary of the People's Democratic Party. Well, the national chairman also said earlier that the different organs of the party have agreed to finally allow Senator Samuel Anyanwu to continue as the National Secretary of the party and Mr. Shangani.
Joshua, PDP chieftain there, Bode George, we just played that clip where he was quoted as saying, "Let sleeping dogs lie." Do you know what or to whom he might have been referring to when he made that those words?
Well, the sleeping dogs in this situation are several disgruntled members of the party who seems not to be happy about the revelation of Samuel Anyanwu coming back, as well as those who are embattled, particularly Samuel Anyanwu. So they are calling on all party faithfuls to allow sway and to allow the party to return to its normal state as the opposition. They are saying that a letter to that effect will be sent to the Independent National Electoral Commission to tell them that the internal crisis between the party have subsided, and now they are putting forward a national secretary. That is the person of Samuel Anyanwu.
And have you ascertained exactly where the order came from for the police to barricade the quarters, the Wadata Plaza venue of the meeting from before? Do you know exactly who might have given that order?
This is one thing that we are still trying to unravel. We still don't know who gave that particular order, but we know the security men on ground, that is the policemen, said that the order is from above. And we particularly don't know who gave that order. And we are still expecting to unravel that particular situation and to tell who particularly gave that order for them to barricade the entrance of the Wadata Plaza, which is the National Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party.
Joshua Marai, good job. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure to have you on the news. Now, in the meantime, Ali Bukar Dalori has formally assumed office as the acting national chairman of the All Progressives Congress following the resignation of Abdullahi Ganduje last Friday. Suraj Ajibola, national secretary of the party, presented Ganduje's resignation letter to the National Working Committee during its meeting on Monday. Dalori addressed the NWC in its first meeting under his leadership, saying he is taking on the responsibility with humility, responsibility, and loyalty. He said his appointment followed the resignation of Ganduje and the directive of President Bola Tinubu. Now, Dalori said his appointment was not a personal victory, but a responsibility that comes with high expectations from the party's members and supporters. Meanwhile, APC North Central Zone has demanded the position of national chairman be zoned to their region following the resignation of Abdullahi Ganduje as the party's national chairman. Stakeholders from Kogi, Benue, Nasarawa, and other North Central states insist the party's zoning arrangement favors their claim. In Benue, both APC factions, one loyal to SGF George Akume, the other to Governor Hyacinth Alia, agree the chairmanship should go to the North Central. Meanwhile, APC stakeholders in Nasarawa, under the All Progressives Congress Forum led by Saleh Zazaga, have endorsed former Governor Tanko Al-Makura for the role, citing extensive consultations within the region. The contest for the vacant chairmanship is intensifying as regional leaders push for representation. Still in politics, presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 election, Peter Obi, has confirmed he will contest the 2027 presidential election. Obi added that he was willing to serve a single four-year term if elected. He made the declaration on Sunday night while speaking during a live session on X Spaces, where he answered questions from supporters both in Nigeria and abroad. In a statement released on Monday by his spokesman, Ibrahim Umar, of the Peter Obi Media Reach, Obi dismissed claims of a possible joint ticket with former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. However, he admitted being open to coalition talks only if they are focused on addressing Nigeria's core problems. Now to security matters. Details have emerged on how notorious bandit kingpin Kachala Dambokolo died at the weekend in Zamfara State after an earlier gun battle with Shinkafi volunteer forces in the state. Security forces said Dambokolo and more than 173 bandits were killed after the blistering surprise attack by the volunteer forces. According to the sources, Dambokolo, who sustained serious gun injuries during the attack, died over the weekend and was buried on Saturday. His death and that of several fighters loyal to him were reportedly being celebrated, particularly by residents of Koya district in Shinkafi LGA, whom he had terrorized for years. Now, to discuss this, we're joined by former chairman, Zamfara Committee on Prosecution of Bandits, Dr. Abdullahi Shinkafi. Doctor, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us, sir. All right, now I'm hoping...
Thank you for having me.
Grand, we've got your audio. Now, so would like to know what is expected, what the expected impact of Dambokolo's death on bandits' operation in Zamfara will be from now on, and also the surrounding states as well.
Yeah, the death of Kachala Yellow Dambokolo is highly celebrated in Shinkapi local government, in Zulu local government, in Isa local government, in Sabruboni local government, and also in Goya local government. Even part of Maradu local government. Yellow Kachala Dambokolo is second in command to Kachala Bello Turshi. apart from being even a second in command to Bello Turji, it is Bello Turji's first cousin. So Dambakola had been terrorizing the rural communities in Kuria, Dambo, in Patai, Chida, Kamarawa, Baparawa, Gebe, Gatawa, and Sabombrini, Modachi in Isa local government, Goronyo, Maelele, and Gatawa, and take Kaswa and take Fulunki, all in Sokoto State. So he is well-known, notorious bandit, more deadly, more heartless than Bello Turji. So he is even the most dangerous and deadly, notorious armed bandit kingpin. So today is a jubilation. Today is a day of celebration by the people of that rural communities, including the major towns in all these local governments I have mentioned earlier.
All right then.
So,
Doctor,
the Joint Security Task Force and the DSS Security Volunteer and the Community Protection Guard, for the past 1 week, the network in Kwara Namoda, Shinkabi, and Isa Asabo Beni had been switched off by the telecommunication company.
Now, Doctor,
this operation. And we thank God it was gone down with more than 173 of his followers.
All right, Doctor, there seems to be a change in strategy here with his death. It seems to have moved from negotiation and amnesty to targeted eliminations. Am I correct? Do you agree with this move?
The issue of amnesty in Zamfara State, the governor rejects any form of dialogue with the bandit. The governor has said the time without number, his government will not negotiate with this armed bandit. But our neighboring state, Sokoto, Katsina, Kaduna State, have agreed to go into peace dialogue with the bandit. But the governor of Zamfara State, because of the previous dialogue failed, government of Lazari go into peace dialogue with the bandit, the dialogue collapsed. And Bello Matole, the immediate past governor of Zamfara State, went into dialogue with the bandit, and the dialogue collapsed. So there is a lot of betrayal on the part of the bandit. So with this strategy, the governor were able to deflow more than 500 volunteer security vigilante group, which were under supervision of the Department of State Security Service, and some of the community development, community protection guards, and other conventional police and military military personnel were into this operation. So we thank God with this collaborative effort of the security agencies and the vigilante group, it has recorded a tremendous success. I think with the death of Yolo Dambakwelo, the issue of banditry in the Sokoto East will be reduced to minimal barrage level. If I can recall,
Dr. Shinkafi,
Yellow Dambakwelo is one of the hardest armed bandit kingpin who killed more than 20 people in their bus.
Now, Dr. Shinkafi,
he bonded Alansa Bambiri Sokoto. He bonded.
Dr. Shinkafi, I hope you can hear me. I wanted to touch on what you've just mentioned now regarding the level of success here in Zamfara State. If you compare that to the neighboring states, which you have just told us are embracing amnesty and dialogue with bandits, would you say that Zamfara State is recording progress better than these other surrounding neighbors?
Yeah, Zamfara State has been recording this success because the governor was so adamant and he refused to go into dialogue with this bandit. And the switching off of the network is also one of the ingredients that contributed to the success, because the roles of informant have been now foreclosed. Because if the network of the telecommunication is on, then the network, the informant, that the enemy within, will now call on this bandit and tell them the movement of the troops and the other security agencies. But for the methodology applied to switch off the telecommunication service, and also for the governor also to bring the service of this DSS volunteer vigilante service. I think it's one of the tremendous achievements ever recorded since the fight against banditry in the state.
Now, Dr. Shinkafi,
because the numbers of the network, yeah.
Now, Dr. Shinkafi, regarding the network being switched off, which has been a very big bone of contention for the people who live there, the businesses as well, and how it's affected them, do you think that that's a fair price to pay in this instance?
You see, anything in life is temporary. So, and the most important thing in every society to bring development is to have a secure environment. When you don't have a secure environment, what is the use of the network? You go into business, you get business, bandit will go and kidnap you and impose levies, taxes to farmers. People are being kidnapped on the main road. People are being terrorized, burned alive. So once you don't have the secure environment, then there's no peace, tranquility, and development in every society. I think the methodology or structure of the network, I plead with our people to support the government effort in trying to downgrade this issue of insecurity, which has been eating the state for more than 15 years ago.
Now, Doctor,
and a lot of businesses will suffer.
Yeah.
For the situation of the network, but this is temporary.
Okay, but Doctor, what about reprisal attacks from these terrorists or remaining members? Are there any measures that have been put in place to protect the communities from any retaliatory attacks that might come their way?
Yeah, that is what the habitual act of Bello Turji. Anytime there is this such of attack, he will now do a retaliatory attacks. But the way all his route were coded, I don't think you have any inroad into the main towns or villages. Because as I'm talking to you now, they are going into such an operation, such an operation in those rural community, which is the major hideout of this notorious bandit kingpin. Turji has a lot of lieutenants. The lieutenants, this is the one of the major second in command in this atrocity Turji is perpetrating for many years.
Okay.
Aminu Kanawa, Magna, and Haruna are all working closely with Turji for the first 1.5 decades, terrorizing our people in this 4 local government I had mentioned. So I don't think he will make any effort, because the way and the manner the security are being mobilized, are well equipped and well staffed. I don't think he's going to record any success if he made any attempt to do retaliatory attacks.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Shinkafi. It was a pleasure to have you here with us on the news today. Thank you, sir. Now let's take a very short break, and when we come back, we've got more news coming your way. Welcome back. Now, angry youth in Lafiagi local government area of Kwara State erupted in protest on Monday, setting the NDLEA's office ablaze and vandalizing the Emir's palace over worsening insecurity, repeated abductions and killings in the region. The demonstrators, mostly young residents, marched through the streets chanting protest songs and brandishing placards demanding urgent intervention. The outburst follows years of silence and perceived The outburst follows years of silence and perceived abandonment by the government and traditional authorities. The violence escalated when the protesters reached the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency facility in the town, setting it on fire. They also attacked the palace of the Emir of Lafiagi, breaking windows and damaging parts of the building, accusing the monarch of complicity through silence. Staying with security matters, Governor Caleb Mutfwang of Plateau State has described Nigeria's lingering insecurity as a problem created and sustained by the country's elite. Speaking at a stakeholders meeting in Plateau State, Mutfwang said the elite have contributed to deepening communal divisions and must take responsibility for reversing the trend. He notes that while the poisoning of minds may often start at the community level, the elite have the power to halt such narratives if they choose to. Mutfwang urged Nigeria's elite to take greater responsibility in promoting unity and peaceful coexistence. He reaffirmed his administration's commitment to dismantling artificial barriers of faith and ethnicity, which he argues have long hindered development in Plateau State. And still on insecurity, there have been recent reports of security threats in parts of Abia State after about 2 years of seeming calm in the state. In the last 1 month, the Umuenyochi and Isiokwato vicinities have witnessed pockets of insecurity ranging from kidnapping, armed robbery and murder. Umuahia, the state capital, has also had a fair share of insecurity in recent times. I hear News Central's Chinwe Ogele in this report tries to unpack the return of violence in the state.
Prior to August of 2023, insecurity was at its peak in Abia State, with Umunochi and Isukwato leading in various forms of violent crimes. For nearly 2 years, the state witnessed some calm and safety as the security situation improved.
By God's specialty, I have never been a victim, but I have not witnessed any.
In recent times, there have been incidents of kidnapping and attempts in Isukwato, including when suspected armed robbers, while fleeing, shot dead a man on a motorcycle, cases of murder in the Ingwa area, and rape as well as theft in parts of the state. However, it appears more work needs to be done to check the different trends of insecurity threatening the peace of the people, from the families to the society in general.
The security people, will relax for some time after the rescue of Umunochi and the Isukwato, security challenges. And within that period, the criminals, regrouped again, to start, harassing people. So the state government need to go back to the drawing board and also do the reform.
Input on this tricycle issue. But there was a time therefore that they should remove those tarpaulins that used to make the place being completely covered. But most of them are so covered in the back. If the places are opened, it may be a bit difficult for at least if somebody is bringing out gun, somebody from outside will be able to see maybe the thief or so.
Not even the state capital, Umuahia, is free of violent attacks in some areas, as rape, theft, substance abuse and cultism become the order of the day.
Experts have told us that a good percentage of crimes, we are tailored to hard drugs. So if they can stop those who are selling hard drugs within the town, it will help curtail, insecurity within Umuahia town.
Security advisor to the Abia State Governor MacDonald Oba says government is on top of the situation to ensure insecurity does not escalate.
We do not fold our hands and let some miscreants take over our state. As you know, they find no rest here. It's an assurance.
Stakeholders need to collaborate from every nook and cranny of the state to adequately fight substance abuse in order to control the return and spread of insecurity. In Umuahia, for News Central, Chinwe Ogele.
Now to judicial matters. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has been granted bail upon arraignment at the Federal High Court in a defamation suit. The suspended senator was released on self-recognition due to her status as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and a Supreme Court lawyer. She faces charges related to alleged defamatory statements against the Senate President and a former governor during a live television broadcast. The case has been adjourned to 27th September 2025 for further hearing. The court required one surety of reasonable integrity residing in Abuja with landed property. Akwoti Ruaga pleaded not guilty to the charges, and the trial continues amid significant public and legal interest. Operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have arrested 74 suspected internet fraudsters in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Now, the suspects were apprehended on Monday at Joyous Hotel in Nyanya, a suburb of the capital city, following intelligence linking them to internet-related crimes. According to a statement by EFCC spokesperson Dele Oyewale, items recovered during the operations include 86 mobile phones, a rifle, pistol, and 2 motorcycles. Oyewale added that the suspects will be arraigned in court upon the conclusion of ongoing investigations. Now, away from that, tensions are running high at the Federal Capital Territory Administration, where staff under the Joint Union Action Committee and other trade unions have staged a mass protest, calling for urgent government action. The aggrieved workers on Monday barricaded the entrance of the FCTA Secretariat in Abuja, demanding the payment of outstanding wage award arrears, timely promotions, access to training, and improved work tools. Their anger is also directed at the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, whom they accuse of worsening their conditions. They insist that the current leadership has shown disregard. And women farmers in the federal capital have called for an end to marginalization by both state and the federal government, especially in the provision of intervention initiatives for the nation's farming community. This was as they visited the Ministry of Women Affairs in Abuja, where they called for collaboration between the Women Ministry and the Ministry of Agriculture to meet the needs of women farmers across the country and address challenges affecting their farming. Our correspondent, Idong Joseph, here has more in this report.
Women had converged on the Ministry of Women Affairs in Abuja. The advocacy visit to the ministry is aimed at informing those in authority about the challenges women farmers go through in the country, which has become too numerous.
Women will contribute over 70% to workforce in agriculture. Yet these women are hungry, yet these women are not secured. I begin to ask and I begin to speak out that as women are not secured, there is fear and there is every tendency that food insecurity might not stop.
This timely release of farm inputs, up till now, we women farmers in FCT, we have not even gotten anything, even from the government. Even at the subsidized rate that they used to give to us before, it's no longer there.
Some of the women called for increased collaboration between the Ministry of Women Affairs and the Ministry of Agriculture, saying that it will go a long way in helping address key challenges affecting women farmers in the country.
They should work in collaboration to ensure that women are getting what is duly for them. That is not only saying of farmers, but should be able to streamline this thing with gender lens. And by so doing, both a man will be standing, a woman will be standing.
Others are calling for quick intervention and support for women farmers to end their marginalization.
They should please come to our aid, we women farmers. They should come to our aid. You know, like this year now, we have no farm. Some of us have no farm. Why? No land. And where we used to collect land, as a result of the money they are putting on it is too high, we can't afford it. They should give us loan with a little interest that women will be able to get, farm, pay back, and still have something in their pockets.
The women say that they are committed to helping the nation boost food security. They say that they have the numbers in farming and only need a little help and support from the government. In Abuja for News Central, I am Idong Joseph.
Now to infrastructure. The newly completed EFCC Academy Access Road in Giri has been officially commissioned, a key step in improving connectivity and infrastructure in the area. At the commissioning, the representative of the EFCC chairman, Mohammed Hassan, said the project underscores government's... I beg your pardon. He said The project underscores government's dedication and strengthening institutions and enhancing operational efficiency. He added that the road will not only stimulate economic growth but also improve security in Giri community.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, these newly constructed access roads are not just infrastructural achievements. They are statements of intent, the intention to open up Giri district and the FCT. They show that under this administration, no community is too small, area too distant, citizen too insignificant to benefit from the dividends of democracy.
This district, like the Executive Secretary has said, is going to house most institutions like the university, like the EFCC Academy, and all other institutions that are supposed to be here. And this road has helped us to stop the land grabbing by the university. The university on their own grabbed 11,000 hectares. I said that will not happen. I said that will not happen. No document, nothing. Just all you see them fencing everywhere. And before you know it, they were going to sell our land. So I've told the Director of Lands and the other relevant agencies to carve out 4,000 hectares and give to the university. The other ones we allocated because we are going to provide the roads here.
We were actually at a loss on how to navigate this challenge until the Honorable Minister of FCT, the man called Mr. Project, came to our rescue. He not only promised to construct the road, he delivered the road in record times. With this infrastructure, the development of this academy can now proceed.
Now, Nigeria's Ministry of Works has terminated the contract for the renovation and upgrade of the Abuja-Minna Expressway following the inability of the contractor handling the projects to maintain the highest required standards. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, made this known during the inspection of the road project in Niger State, including works at the Abuja-Kaduna Expressway. Our correspondent, Sergei Ibrahim, here reports.
It was an inspection of several road projects including the Abuja-Minna Expressway and the Abuja-Kaduna Expressway. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, gave details of the project specification.
We are doing shoulder with concrete, and then the carriageway 7.3 is to be done with, asphalt. But we also have, another innovation in asphalt. The last stone base before the asphalt is treated with cement, 3.5% cement. And that ensures that the water will not go down to destroy the road. Any road built by the president, whether it is asphalt, you must give it 20 years. And if it is concrete, you give it 100 years. This is what is the assurance given to Nigerians.
Umahi, however, expressed displeasure at the quality of work done by the contractor handling the Abuja-Minna Expressway.
For himself. Now let me say that we have sections 1 and 2 under to Salini Nigeria Limited. And so we are just standing on the section that they have completed. And I want Nigerians to see whether this is what we can accept as a completed work. We have been on them for the past 1 year and a half, begging them to come and rework the road. The road has completely failed. And if you look at section 1, tearing off from Abuja-Kano Road, you will see how terrible that road is. And that's where tankers are following, that's where big trucks are following. And occasionally, these trucks will fail and kill people. If you take off here to Minna, you will spend 7 hours. And so that's why the president had directed that something immediate, very urgent, should be done about it.
He says that the ministry, following repeated efforts to compel the contractor handling the Abuja-Mina Expressway to maintain the highest required standard, the ministry has decided to terminate the job.
Now today Salini is still owing us, and I've directed my ministry to scope out a section of the road equal to what they're owing us and let them do it. Let them stop running up and down. This is irrevocably terminated. And Nigerians will see the reason why we terminated it.
A chieftain of Nigeria's opposition People's Democratic Party, who was also part of the inspection team, expressed delight at the commitment seen by the minister. He says, however, that it doesn't mean an endorsement of other ministers serving the president.
When a man aspires to be president and becomes president, we owe him a duty that he doesn't lose immortality, because he would have then become a president and be considered to fail. That I have endorsed the work of my senior brother, Engineer Dave Umahi, can never be an automatic endorsement to all others. There are ministers that I have serious issues with, but that's not what we have come for.
The minister assured of President Bola Tinubu's commitment to providing adequate infrastructure that will improve the lives of citizens across the country. In Abuja for News Central, Sagir Ibrahim.
The dispute over the genuine ownership of a mining site in Nasarawa State has raised concerns over illegal mining and the operation of such sites without proper documentation. This formed the highlight of a press conference in Abuja, where some operators in the mining sector have called on the federal government to live up to its responsibilities and ensure a proper regulation of companies mining key minerals across the country.
We as young Nigerians were able to attract foreign investors, create job employment for other youths, old, young, male, female, and our effort is being sabotaged by Deme Global Nigeria Limited. Have we done wrong attracting foreign investors?
I would also like to urge the government to help the sector grow and address the rising spate of illegal miners. It is important to ensure that all companies operating in Nigeria possess all the required documentation.
Artillery shelling by rapid support forces kill at least 3, wound dozens in the Sudanese city of El Fasher. We'll tell you more after the break. Do stay with us. Welcome back. Now, artillery shelling by the Rapid Support Forces have killed at least 3 people and wounded dozens in the besieged Sudanese city of El Fasher, as a medical group reported that 239 children have died from malnutrition in the area over the last 6 months. The RSF intensified its long-range artillery attacks on the capital of North Darfur, the army's last stronghold in the Darfur region, ignoring United Nations calls for a humanitarian truce to allow aid to reach trapped civilians. Local sources say shells struck the Nivasha market in the Abu Shuk camp, north of the city, killing at least 3 people. The market, which has been operating at partial capacity, has been repeatedly hit, causing civilian casualties and widespread damage. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres met with Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez on the opening day of the UN Conference on Financing for Development held in Seville. The high-level event brings together global leaders and financial experts to address the growing challenges in funding sustainable development, particularly in vulnerable regions. The conference seeks to mobilize renewed international commitment to development aid amid significant funding shortfalls. Recent cuts led by the United States have threatened progress on global poverty reduction and hindered the achievement of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. At least 2 people were killed when firefighters were ambushed while responding to a wildfire in Kootenai County, Idaho. The deadly incident unfolded during an active standoff between law enforcement and an unknown number of armed civilians armed individuals. The blaze, which continued to burn across the mountainside, prompted emergency services to respond before the situation escalated into gunfire. According to local authorities, the firefight with the suspect or suspects was ongoing, and officers were taking sniper fire while helping civilians evacuate the area. Officials believe the victims were members of the firefighting team. The attack has left the community in shock, with local leaders expressing sorrow and concern as the standoff continued in the night. Business now. Nigeria's first quarter 2025 foreign direct investment fell by 19% to $250 million, reflecting weakened investor confidence due to exchange rate volatility and unclear policy. Now, this contributed to the $2.77 billion overall deficit. Now, Oladipo Ajayi, head of fixed income and FX, Chapel Hill Denham Securities Limited, attributed the first quarter investment to investor uncertainty from the U.S. tariff war and Nigeria's unclear rebase activities.
April. So a lot of foreign investors were actually standing by the sideline at that particular point in time. They need clarity. They need to see the U.S. president unpack what he had in his offering. And this is one of the reasons why we do not see a lot of investment actually flowing into Nigeria or some other emerging market at that particular point in time. And also, don't also forget that Q1 also have its peculiarity, and because a lot of investors were still trying to check what would be more like the direction and what trajectory would the Gulf country be actually towing at that particular point in time.
Sports now. The Confederation of Africa Football will unveil a new trophy for the Women's Africa Cup of Nations on Wednesday, July 2nd, ahead of the 2025 edition in Morocco. The tournament runs from July 5 to 26 and features 12 teams. The new trophy aligns with CAF's broader efforts to elevate women's football across the continent. This year's prize money has also been increased from $975,000 to $2.4 million. Hosts Morocco will open the competition against Zambia in Rabat. Nigeria, the tournament's most successful team, is drawn in Group B alongside Botswana, Tunisia, and Algeria. Defending champion South Africa headline Group C. Now, the 2025 WAFCON continues the tournament's growth since becoming a full-format competition in 1998. Nigeria's women's beach volleyball team secured qualification for the 2025 World Championship in Adelaide, Australia, after finishing third at the CAVB Continental Championships in Matil, Morocco. The duo of Esther Mba and Pamela Bauer defeated Egypt 2-1 in the bronze medal match, capping off a strong campaign for the team. Their performance builds on Nigeria's momentum from their recent Africa Games silver medal. The result in Morocco highlights the team's growing consistency on the continental stage. The achievement reflects the collective effort of players, coaches, and federation support staff. With this victory, Nigeria joins the list of African representatives heading to the global stage next November, marking another milestone in their beach volleyball journey. World number 9, Daniil Medvedev, suffered a shocking first-round exit at Wimbledon, losing 7-6, 3-6, 7-6, 6-2 to France's Benjamin Bonzi. It marks Medvedev's earliest ever departure in 7 appearances at the tournament and his first time failing to reach the second round. The two-time semi-finalist reacted angrily post-match, smashing his racket in frustration. Bonzi, ranked 64th, earned his first career win over a top 10 opponent with the upset, matching his previous best Wimbledon performance by reaching the second round. Despite playing solidly, Medvedev was undone by Bonzi's sharp performance and clutch play in key tiebreaks. And that's all the news this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. Expanded caucus meeting of the People's Democratic Party has ended in Abuja amidst tight security, and security agents have killed bandit kingpin Kachala Dambukulu in Zamfara State. We also told you that artillery shelling by rapid support forces have killed at least 3 and wounded dozens in the Sudanese city of El Fasher. Now remember, you may send your eyewitness reports to the WhatsApp number on your screens now. And do follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, StarTimes 274, Avo TV, and of course on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. My name is Mazino Appeal.